Okay, good day students. This is Sir JP again for another discussion vlog. And for today's discussion, I'm going to discuss the measures of central tendency of the group data. Kung last time I discussed the ungroup data, but for this time naman yung group data. So again, we have mean. So to compute mean of group data, we need to determine the midpoint of each class interval. The mean assumes that the class mark is the average value for all items falling in that class. So there are two methods of computing for the mean, but take note again, the mean assume that the class mark is the average value of all items falling in that class. So lagi mong tatandaan si class mark yung assumed mean, hindi ikaw yan na assuming. Okay? So we have two types or two ways to compute the mean, wherein first is the long method of x, or the mean is equals to summation of f times x over n. And then where x is equals to sample mean, x of I is the class midpoint or class mark, f sub I is the corresponding frequency, and n is the total number of items. So in short method, we have x is equals to assumed mean or x of A plus summation of f times d over and multiplied to I, or the interval. So wherein x is equals to sample mean, x of A is assumed mean, usually the value of the highest midpoint, and d sub I is the deviation of the values from the assumed mean. In order to get it, we have d sub I is equals to x sub I, or our value of the midpoint, minus our assumed mean over I. So the corresponding frequency is f sub I, and I is the class interval or class size, and n is the number of items. So we have also for the median of the group data, the median of group data could be determined by the following formula. So median is equals to lower boundary of the median class plus n over 2 subtracted by the cumulative frequency preceding or before the median class all over frequency of the median class multiplied by the class interval. So we have MDN is equals to median, L sub me is equals to lower class boundary of the median class, and is equals to total number of observations. F sub me is frequency of the median class. CF sub B is the cumulative frequency preceding to the median class, and I is the class size or the class interval, wherein the median class is the class limit which contains the nth over 2 value. So here we have the mode also. Define the midpoint as the midpoint of the class interval with the highest frequency or the modal class. The mode obtained is this manner is called crude mode because it is just an approximately of the actual mode. So determine the true mode, we use the formula mode is equals to lower boundary of the mode plus d sub 1 over d sub 2 multiplied by the class interval. So we have m sub o is mode, LMO, lower class boundary of the modal class. D1 is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the class next lower in value. And D sub 2 naman is difference between class frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the class next higher in value. So I is equals to class interval or class width, and the modal class is the class interval with the highest frequency. Yung paulit or pinakamaraming beses na ulit. So we have here example. The following is the distribution of length in service in years of 50 employees of Trasimar City National High School. Find the mean, median, and the mode of the data below. So their length of service is our class limits or CL, and the number of employees is the frequency. So 1 to 5 is 5. So you have 6 to 10 is 7. 11 to 15 is 12. 16 to 20 is 13. 21 to 25, 6. 26 to 30, there is 4. 31 to 35, there is 3. So let's compute the mean, median, and the mode. Okay, in our example, we have the following is the distribution of length in service in years of 50 employees of Trece Martires City National High School. Find the mean, median, and the mode of the data below. So we have to find the mean, median, and mode of the group data. So as we can remember to our discussion a while ago, sabi ko kanina, kailangan natin yung midpoint or the class mark and the f times x or frequency times our class mark and the deviation, frequency multiplied to deviation, our class boundaries and less than cumulative frequency. So again, paano ba kinukuha si class mark? Diba, pag kinuha si class mark, we have to add our lower limit and the upper limit and then divide it by 2. So 1 plus 5 is 3, 1 plus 5 is 6, divided by 2, the answer is 3. Next, we have to, 6 plus 10 is 16, divide it by 2, we have 8, sorry. So, 11 plus 15 is 26, divide it by 2, the answer is 13. 16 plus 20 is 36, divide it by 2, we have 18. And 21 plus 25 is 46, divide it by 2, 23. 26 plus 30, you have 56, divide it by 2, 28. 31 plus 35 is 66, divided by 2, you have 33. So, we already get our midpoint. So, next is our frequency multiplied to the class point. So, 5 times 3 is 15. Sorry. 7 times 8 is 56. 12 times 3 is 156. And, so we have here 13 times 18. Medyo malaki number na. So, we have 234. And next we have 6 times 23, 138. 4 times 28 is 112. 3 times 33 is 99. So we have to get the summation of our f times x, which is 112 plus 99 plus 138 plus 234 plus 156 plus 56 plus 15. So our summation of f times x is equals to 810. Now, how are we going to get the deviation? Diba? How we are going to get the deviation? So, sabi kanina, our assumed mean is based on our class mark or class midpoint. Alin ba yung magiging assumed mean natin dyan? So, if you could see, we have, ganito lang yan, 3 plus 8 plus 13 plus 18 plus 23 plus 28 plus 33. Okay? So, our assumed mean is equals to summation of our x or yung midpoint divided by total number of observations. Now, ilan ba yung observations na meron tayo? So, again, we have 3 plus 8 plus 13 plus 18 plus 23 plus 28 plus 33 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, we have here 7 sets of data. So, again, our assumed mean is equals to 126 divide 7. 126 divide 7. Okay? Ang answer is 18. Now, our assumed mean is 18. Meaning to say, andito banda yung ating, ayan, assumed mean natin ay 18. So, here is the class of our mean, yung 16 to 20 classes na yan. So, since nakuha na natin ang formula ng ating deviation or d sub I is equals to d sub 1 or x minus or x sub I minus x sub A or our assumed mean. Diba? And it should be over our class interval. So, here, for example, start tayo dun sa ating midpoint class. So, we have 18 minus 18. Okay, divided by 5. The answer is 0 over 5 and then it is 0. So, meaning to say 0 na yung deviation natin dito. Next, we have to get our deviation here sa class 11 to 15. So, we have 13 minus 18 over 5 is equals to negative 5 over 5 which is equals to negative 1. Okay, nakuha natin dyan yung deviation, negative 1. Next, let's proceed here. So, we have 8 minus 18 divided by 5, our class interval, which is negative 10. Negative 10 over 5 is equals to negative 2. So, we have here negative 2. Next, we have here our class for 1 to 5. We have 3 minus 18 over 5 is equals to negative 15 over 5 which is a total of negative 3. Ayan na yung deviation natin. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. How about here from the upper class nung mula sa ating mean or assumed mean? So we have 23 minus 18 over 5 is equals to 5 over 5 or equals to 1. So we have 1. Next we have 28 minus 18 over 5 which is our class interval which is 10 over 5 is equals to 2. Ito na yung deviation natin ngayon. So 2. And lastly we have for the class 31 to 35 we have 33 minus 18 over 5 is equals to 15 over 5. Then, our deviation there is 3. Okay. Nakuha na natin ngayon yung deviation natin. Now, we have to get frequency times deviation. So, frequency 5 times negative 3, we have negative 15. Next naman, we have 7 times negative 2, we have negative 14. And next, we have 12 times negative 1. We have negative 12. Negative 12. And 13 times 0, the answer is 0. 6 times 1 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. And lastly, 3 times 3 is 9. So, we have to get the summation of f times our deviation, which is equals to negative 15 plus negative 14 plus negative, negative 15 plus negative 14 plus negative 12 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9, we have the summation of negative 18. Okay. Ay, nakuha na natin yung frequency times the deviation. Now, syempre, ano ba yung pagkuha natin ng cumulative class boundaries? Again, pag kumukuha ng class boundaries, we subtract 0.5 to the lower limit and then add 0.5 to the upper limit. So, we have there 0.5 to 5.5. Bakit po naging 0.5? Again, our lower limit there is 1. Okay? 1. So, next is, there, magma-minus ka ulit ng 0.5 dun sa lower limit. So, you have 5.5 plus 10.5. Next, you have 10.5 to 15.5. 15.5 to 20.5. Yan. So, here, 20.5 to 25.5. and then 25.5 to 30.5, and lastly we have here 30.5 to 35.5. Okay, nakuha na natin ngayon yung ating class boundaries. Next, and lastly, kailangan natin sa pag-compute ng mean, median, and mode of the group data is the less than cumulative frequency. Again, kapag kinukuha ang less than cumulative frequency of the group data, we have to add the frequency from the lowest class, which is our here, yung 1 to 5, yung pinaka-lowest. Doon tayo mag-start sa 5, and then add all until you reach the upper or the highest class. So we have 5 plus 7, the answer is 12. 12 plus 12, you have 24. 24 plus 13 is 37. 37 plus 6, 43. And 43 plus 4 is 47. And lastly is your from the highest limit is 47 plus 3, the answer is 50. Now, so let's use the formula. Paano nga ba natin kinukuha yung mean? So again, our mean is equals to mean, ayan, mean or x. Gamitin natin muna yung long method. So we have there, adjust ko lang to. So we have summation of fx, summation of fi, then x of I is equals or over n, wherein this is a long method. Pakitandaan, long method po ito. Summation of fi times x of I is equals to summation of fx. Ito po. Which is 810 over n, yung number of data natin. May kita nyo dito, ito, n is equals to 50. Which is 50. Now, 810 divided by 50, as na yung calculator ko. So, 810 divide it by 50. So, you have 16.2. So, our mean is 16.2. Okay? This is the long method. Katandaan, long method po ito. Now, let's proceed to the short method. Paano ba yung short method na sinasabi mo, Sir JP? So, here is the short method. Ito, long method. Long method. And we have the short method. Ayan, short method. Kuno. So, we have x is equals to summation of ano ba yung formula to? Sorry, it is assumed mean. Ganito pala yun. Assumed mean is equals or plus summation of f and a summation of f sub I times d sub I over our n multiplied by our class interval. So we have to substitute. Yung, ano ba yung assumed mean natin? Again, our assumed mean is equals to 18. Ito po. Ayan po assumed mean. So, we have here 18 plus, okay, summation of fi times di is ito. We have negative 18 over 50 times our class interval of 5. So, we have 18 plus negative 18, okay. Negative 18 divided by 50 is equals to negative 0.36 times 5. Okay? Times 5. Now, since nakuha na natin yan, you have 18 plus times 5. You have negative 1.8 or minus 1.8. So, here we have 16.2. So, as you could see, there is just the same. This is the long method and this is the short method. Okay? And may kita nyo pareho dyan kung paano kinumpute yung ating mean. Now, let's proceed to our median. Okay, here. Dito naman, we have to compute our median class. Paano ba yung kinocompute na median class na yan? Okay, ayusin lang natin to. Paano ba kinocompute si median? So, again, our formula for median is equals to lower boundary of the median class plus n over 2 minus cumulative frequency before or preceding to our median class over frequency of the median class. Okay, yan. And then multiplied it by our class interval. So, first thing that you have to do is hanapin mo yung nth term natin. Ano ba yung nth term na tinatawag natin? Ayan, over 2. So, okay. So, ano ba yung n natin? We have here 50, tama ba? Ayan, n is equals to 50. So, our nth term is 50th divided by 2 is equals to 25th term. Now, hanapin natin yung pang 25th term. Okay? So, in our class 1 to 5, there is 5 student na nakakuha. Meaning to say, we have si first, or yung lowest mula sa lowest is first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay? And next naman, yung 6 to 10 is may 7. So, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, nasa 12 pa lang tayo, 12. Okay? Yung 11 to 15, merong 12. So, bilang ka ulit. So, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, 24th term pa lang yung dito sa 11 to 15. So, ang hinahanap natin ay yung may 25th term. Saan siya pasok ngayon? So, syempre, dito na kay 16 to 20. Okay? So, here is our 16 to 20. Andito po yung ating, so, andito kanina yung ating mean class, or ayan yung x, and andito din yung ating median class. Now, since nakuha na natin yung pang 25th term na under siya dito, okay, gamitin na natin ngayon yung ating formula, which is median is equals to lower boundary of the median class. Etong median class na to, since andito yung pang 25th term, so lower boundary is equals to 15.5 plus, ano ba yung n over 2 natin, which is eto. So, we have 25th or 25 minus cumulative frequency before. Okay? Our cumulative frequency before or preceding to our median class, lagi nyo tatandaan to, yung ating class interval ay 5 na, and yung cumulative frequency before or preceding to our median class, again, this is yung ating, tawag dito, ito yung tinatawag nating cumulative frequency ng ating median class. Ang tinatanong po, ang hinahanap na kailangan natin is bago, before, or preceding papunta sa kanya. Alin ba yung bago sa kanya? Mula dun sa 11 to 15. So, okay, syempre bago sa kanya, wala naman siyang ibang sinusundan kundi etong si 24. Okay? So, you have the 24. So, you have your n term, you have cumulative frequency before or preceding to your median class, and then yung I, which is class interval na 5. So, okay, we have 25 from the n term, and then 24 from our cumulative frequency preceding to our median class, and f of frequency of the median class, or yung f ayan. Ano ba yung frequency ng median class? So, you have 13. Okay? 13 times yung class interval mo na 5. Okay, ito ay 13. Okay, next we have 15.5 plus 1 over 13 times 5 is equals to 15.5 plus 1 divided by 13 times 5 Okay, and lumabas is, okay, we have here 0.38. And then 15.5. Okay, add lang natin yan. Plus 15.5. The answer should be 15.88. Okay, 15.88. So, if 15.88 is under to this class, pakicheck po doon sa kanyang, dito. Ayan, pakitignan mabuti. So, as you could see, 15.88 is also under here sakop pa din siya nung range na ito. Okay, yung median class natin, which is, ayan, sakop siya dyan. From 15.5 to 20.5, andyan pa din po yung ating median class, which means it satisfies. Okay? Next, we have to find the mode. Okay? Mode. Paano naman kinukuha yung mode? Diba we have formula of lower boundary of the mode plus, ba yun? D sub 1 over D sub 1 plus D sub 2. Multiplied by the class interval. We have to know kung paano nga ba, diba? Paano ba, okay, antin ko lang. So, paano nga ba kinukuha yung D sub 1, Sir JP? Paano po ba kinukuha yung D sub 1? So, in order to get your D sub 1, it is the difference of your frequency minus, or frequency of the median class, minus sa inyong yung before sa kanya, frequency before. Okay? Yung before, yung mas maliit sa kanya, which is next lower in value. Ito, yung next lower in value natin, which is, ito yung next lower value. We have the, sulat ko lang, next lower in value. Or class. Yun, yung class. Yung susunod na mas mababa sa kanyang class. So, you have here 13, minus 12. Your D1 is equals to 1. D sub 1 is equals to 1. Next, paano naman kunin yung D sub 2? Okay? It is the difference of your frequency of the median class. Ayan. And yung next lower or next higher class or next higher class or yung frequency of the next lower in value, yung isa next higher class naman or value. So, you have 13. Ano ba yung susunod na may frequency na susunod na class sa kanya? Which is 21 to 25, that is 6. So, 13 minus 6, your D2 is 7. Okay. Nakuha na natin ngayon yung D1, D2, and we also have our I. Yung I natin is equals pa din kay 5. Okay? Ayan, sorry. Okay, we have D1, D2, I. And then, our mode, malalaman natin yung mode, kung sino yung may pinakamaraming frequency. Again, pag sinabi di ba natin na mode, ito yung pinakamaraming paulit-ulit na data or beses ng data. So, makikita nyo dyan, meron lang iisa which is 13. That is the 16 to 20. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, ito yun din yung modal class natin. So, okay. We have you have here 15.5 plus yung D1 natin, which is the difference of your frequency and the next lower class sa kanya, ito, which is 1. You have 1 over yung D1 again plus yung D2 na 7 times the class interval. So, we have the 15.5 plus 5 over 8. Saan po nanggaling yung 5? Multiply na agad and then pag-add nyo nasa baba. 5 over 8 plus po ayan. So, 15.5. Okay. Simplify pa lang muna natin. 5 divide 8 is equals to, okay, we have 15.5 plus 0.625. Okay? 0.625. But here we have to add ang lalabas na sagot dyan of the modal class. Okay? Of our modal class, we have mode is equals to plus 15.5. The answer is 16.125 or 16.13. So here is our modal class. Okay, ito yung median class. Ayan. Okay. So, again, pakicheck po. Yung modal class ba natin ay 16.13 is under the range of 15.5 to 20.5. If it is yes, then our formula or our answer is correct and it satisfies the formula. So that's it for the mean, median, and mode of the group data. Again, this is Sir JP. I hope that you learned something for me. In spite, this is very hard topic for you, not math major students. So that's all. God bless and thank you.